Hi everybody, it's me, Teresa Perrin, and I just wanted to give an update on MULN Automotive, ticker MULN, regarding the shareholders meeting and the new filings, as well as an update as to where we stand. So let's get started. Please remember, nothing I say is financial advice, and always do your own DD. If you could smash that like button for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. For those of you that celebrate, or Kwanzaa, or whatever your religious beliefs are, I hope that you all had an excellent long weekend and day and are ready to get back into the market on Tuesday, tomorrow. Just a reminder, guys, that volume generally will be pretty low this week because a lot of the hedge funds do take time off during this period of time. So you'll see that volume isn't as high as normal. However, we may be surprised with some stocks moving that you don't normally see. So please remember to just be cautious and not to over leverage yourself. I'm sure that most of you have heard by now, although perhaps some of you have not, that the MULN Automotive shareholder meeting was adjourned and rescheduled, and that the information in this first filing we're going to go over, which is an 8K filing, basically is stating that on December 23rd, MULN convened its special meeting of stockholders. The purpose of the special meeting was described by the company's definitive proxy statement filed with the SEC on November 25th, 2022, and the amendment to the company's definitive proxy statement filed with the SEC on December 16th. Now, as of November 21st, the record date for the special meeting, there were 1,659,097,754 shares of common stock. There was 1,925 shares of Series A preferred stock, 1 share of that Series AA preferred stock, and 1,211,757 shares of Series C preferred stock that were entitled to vote at the special meeting. Now, in order to be able to vote, they needed to have a quorum of more than 33 1/3% of the outstanding capital stockholders that were entitled to vote present at the meeting, which we did qualify for a quorum. However, that being said, they did decide to adjourn the meeting for a later date due to the fact that they probably did not get the votes needed on questions number 1, 2, and 4. So guys, after all that time waiting for this special shareholder meeting to vote essentially on whether or not we would have a reverse stock split, and I don't think they got the votes that they needed without using his special AA share, which is currently being taken to court. So I believe that is the reason that this meeting was adjourned. But again, that is my personal opinion. This filing just tells us that the meeting was adjourned and that the vote for the quorum was passed. So the meeting has been rescheduled to resume at 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on January 19th, 2023. So that's when we will have the next meeting, guys. We did also see that Kent Puckett filed a Form 4 saying that he disposed of 100,000 shares of MULN at 33 cents. And it says, this number 1, it was a grant of restricted common stock pursuant to issuer's equity incentive plan, Such shares are fully vested as of the date of the grant. So these shares were vested. He got 100,000 shares, which he immediately disposed of. So that being said, guys, the stock actually acted quite nicely once it found out that the reverse stock split was not voted for, or that the vote did not take place. And I hate to say it, guys, but ultimately, if we want to stay NASDAQ compliant, if we do not get that $1 minimum share price for 10 days, then the reverse stock split is we better hope that it gets voted yes, ultimately, because if not, then this can go to OTC land. And I'm not going to tell anyone how to vote, but I'm going to say that I voted yes for it simply because, not that I want a reverse stock split, and I voted no to authorize more shares because That's all we need is more shares out on the table, but it is what it is, guys. Ultimately, I don't know. I hope that we don't have to reverse split, but the smarter part of me knows that if we don't vote for it, then guess what these hedge funds are going to do? They're probably going to knock us down and ensure that we go to OTC land. So in my opinion, I chose to vote yes. You do what you think is best for you. I'm just telling you my thoughts. But I think that we need to re-vote now that they didn't get the quorum. So I have to check on my Fidelity because that's where, well, I actually have shares in multiple accounts, but I'll check on them because they're the best about disclosing it to see if after the holidays it makes me vote again. So let's see. But anyways, the 52-week low has been 18 cents. The 52-week high, $6.05, which we are very far away of and much closer to the 52-week low, right? We did manage to go up 0.0055 cents or up 2.40%, which, guys, they pulled back in the after hours, basically. What we went up, they took back from us. So it is what it is, but relatively flat day overall for MULN. And if you notice, the volume was significantly less. And guys, it will likely be the same thing this week just because of the holidays. Now, if you look at Weeble's technical analysis, it's showing that we are giving off a strong bullish signal. Short term, the price is going to go up. Medium and long term are still showing that we are in a downtrend. So unless we get several days of an uptrend, I do not expect that to change. Shareholders, as you can see, institutions are only 5.07%, insiders are 8.59%, and the priority is owned, well, there's 5.36% corporate as well, but the priority, guys, is owned by others, which would be us, 80.98%. Ultimately, what I'd like to see is some more institutional ownership in this stock. That would be very bullish. Now, interestingly enough, the net outflow was significantly more than the net inflow. I think people were taking profits off the table either before the vote or because they didn't want to hold it for the holiday weekend. Oftentimes, you'll see people pull money prior to major holidays out of the market and reinvest it after the holidays. Given the fact that Christmas and New Year's fall a week apart, they may not put their money back in this until after the new year. We may also be seeing some tax loss harvesting, guys, so keep that in mind as well. And it says, price rises, capital flows out. Some capital is exiting or short positions are being established. Well, I hope that it's capital flowing out and not shorts, because how much lower are they trying to take this? The short interest is 11.81% currently with 1.07 days to cover. And there are still 150,000 shares available to borrow, which is not a lot. I've seen MULN have over 1 million shares available to borrow. So this is actually getting a lot less. And in fact, we got to 0 on the 23rd, see? The cost to borrow right now is 8.78%, and it ranged on Friday between 8.55 and 8.78%. And failure to delivers, there was a huge day with over 20 million that would be due from 11/25, which if you did T minus 30 to get to 11/25, that would be coming up this week, guys. But unfortunately, that very next day, they covered all of those. How do they do that, guys? They just keep driving this price down until people sell, and they know that retail are going to sell. So this is a vicious cycle over and over again. Unfortunately, until we get to the point where retail says, I'm going to buy and hold and not let them do this, they're going to keep on doing it. And I'm not telling anyone to buy, hold, sell, or anything. That choice is yours. I'm just telling you what would need to happen for this game to change. But while there are so many retail traders out there that would rather sell at a loss than to keep holding through and fight this battle, this will continue to happen. For me, I don't really care because it just allows me to accumulate a bigger position at a cheaper price. But ultimately, guys, I mean, everybody has to decide on how they're trading it, and that's the most important way. Are you swing trading this? Are you day trading this? Are you holding this for a 5 to 10 year hold, hoping that MULN becomes a very successful company? Personally, at this point in time, I have 2 positions. I have one that's a long-term hold that I'm holding for 5 to 10 years, hoping that MULN becomes a successful company. The other, I have been swing trading, and I'm actually debating on whether or not that becomes a more longer-term hold for me, where I hold it for those 5 to 10 years. But I definitely have that position, but I'm debating whether my swing position will get added to that or not. I think a lot of it's going to depend very much on what retail decides to do and what happens with a reverse split. But anyways, guys, that being said, that's what I have for you today. Do not expect significant moves unless some big news breaks between now and New Year's. But I think that you're going to see the market fairly quiet this next week. So after the new year, hopefully David brings something to the table to get this pumping prior to the next voting day that we have. So anyways, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your night.